Gromus, the Blood Moon. Alright, I found some frick. The medal for the Dark Troopers. That's right. I set some charges. That part of the level was easy. I remember once you find the reactor. Oh, it's just one sequencer. Okay. Alright, here we go. Gromus. Get some thermals. Can't get up there.
Looks like the last level, except with a different tint.
Yeah.
And isn't the ice level next?
Yeah.
A blue tint.
Or yeah, I think it's 2 levels from now, but yeah, same deal. It definitely had that mountain texture. I remember this level has a shit ton of stormtroopers. Like, that is the main enemy, and there's a ton of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't probably ever run out of blaster energy because of that. Alright, I want to make sure. I don't think they respawn either, it's just there's so many.
It'd be like, what is it, in Doom when you're playing a Nightmare?
Oh god. Yeah, right. Yeah, can you imagine playing Dark Forces on with respawning? That would be...
Well, it would just be weird to, like, how would they respawn? Like, they can't just like teleport in. It's not like Star Trek or Demons.
It'd be like Star Wars Galaxies where there's a cloning facility and you appear.
Well, it could work if it was like Dark Troopers and they're like getting dropped in.
Yeah.
But that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah. Damn it. I'm still not used to the... I guess I should take advantage of these Pokemon's out.
Well, it should do more than just like show a different color on your ammo.
Yeah.
Because there was so many times when I'd be playing and I'd have the power up, I just wouldn't know until it was like chirping at me that it was about to expire.
Yeah, exactly. That's what irritates me about that. I need to go back down and get some more shit. Okay. See, the other thing about this level that I remember is that also, once you go up and inside, there's sections where you think you've already been, and then you haven't because it all looks the same.
Yeah, because you're going up and down some elevators.
Yeah.
There's those long corridors.
Yep. And I remember there's some dodging of, like, turbines and drills and shit.
Yep. And then this is the first level where you encounter what, phase 1?
Phase 1. That fusion cutter sucks. I never use it. Wait a second.
Looks like the T800.
Yeah. Look at that graphic. It's like, I don't know, it looks trippy on the because it's like kind of a primitive 3D, but then the motion of it makes it, you know, like when you see on a HD TV, like the waterfalls on Super Mario 2, and they have almost the strobing effect. It's like,
yeah, well, that's like a whole thing they talk about in the debate between the debate between LCDs and old CRT TVs.
Yeah.
Classic games where, especially Genesis and stuff, would take advantage of the dithering that would happen.
Yes.
When using like composite cables and stuff. You don't get that. Even in emulators, I think, have trouble because, you know, emulator 9 times out of 10 is outputting to an LCD.
Yeah.
I think that one YouTuber, Displaced Gamers, has a really good video on the subject.
Yep.
It does like super deep dives into stuff.
Yeah, you linked me that one on Sonic. It was really good. And it turns out I had seen his stuff before, but I just forgot about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I totally get the why people would prefer CRTs and stuff, and I would too, but it's just really
It's
practical.
inconvenient these days because of having to set up USB and HDMI on so many things. But
Mm-hmm.
as far if you have a classic console, it's okay as long as you have the room to have your CRT TV in the corner somewhere.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually, like 2 months ago, came into possession of, I think it's like a 25 or a 27-inch CRT
Mm-hmm.
TV. It's some, I think it's a Philips or something. I don't know. A buddy of mine got he bought a motorhome, a used motorhome, and it had some TVs in it, and one of them was that, so
Oh,
he gave it to
nice.
me. It doesn't have component, it just has composite,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
But and then also just recently I've come into space in my office space
Yeah.
where I could put a TV. So I might actually set that up. I might,
Nice.
as much as I kind of poo-poo how difficult and impractical CRTs are now, I might actually be able to do it.
Yeah.
But it's just funny because we spent our childhoods wanting bigger TVs to hook the Nintendo
Yeah.
up to.
Lamenting
About,
what we had. Like, oh, this
yeah,
sucks. I want like a good big TV.
right, yeah, like, oh, can I hook this up in the living room where the big TV is instead of my room?
Yep.
And like, finally being able to hook up your Nintendo to using the composite cable versus the old like coax RF
Yep.
little box thing. And now people want to go back, and in fact we've talked about it, like tracking down the model numbers of our original TVs,
Yep.
wishing that we could get another wishing we could have those, some 20-inch piece of crap.
Yeah, and I was, even though I didn't see too many of them, I remember a friend even having a black and white TV that was like a little, it was like a really small one, just kind of for the kitchen area or the dinner table. But
Yeah.
I think that was the only black and white TV that I ever remember from childhood. By the time it was the mid '80s, everyone pretty much had color by then. But
Yeah.
sometimes there'd be a smaller TV, you'd see one would be black and white. Okay, there's no door down there. Make sure I do this right. Gotta have my finger like already on the jump button when I go through.
The last time I moved, I got rid of my CRT monitor, my 19-inch CRT monitor, and I remember at the time I put it in the trash area or whatever for recycling to pick up, and I'm like, I'm gonna regret this, but I really don't want to move it. And then a year later, I'm like, I really regret that.
Yep.
I mean, I wasn't using it, but it was still in good condition, and like if I did want to hook it up for classic gaming and stuff, but
Yeah.
even when I play this, I'm fine with monkeying around with DOSBox.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just putting it on a big TV or monitor or whatever, and just it's fine.
Yeah. It's funny. I've been having more regrets these last couple years for things I sold, and I mean, it's some things I repurchased if it was like a role playing book or whatever. But
Well, there's definitely a cutoff for a lot of people as far as what you're willing to sell. And I always tell somebody, if they're thinking about selling something, is it going to change your life? Like you're gonna sell this thing, and obviously if you got to pay rent or buy food or whatever, you really need the money. Then,
yeah.
then you got to sell stuff, you got to dump stuff. But if you're like okay, if you're doing okay on the essentials,
Yeah.
and you've got something that's maybe like a few $100s or even a few $1,000s, is it going to change your life?
Yeah.
Is that going to be life changing? Is that going to give you something that is worth more than how you feel about the item, if it's a collectible or something?
Right. I'm tempted to jump over there, but I know it's talking about regrets. Regrets might be doing this.
There's no quick save in this game. You got
no,
5 lives.
It's not. I'll wait because I think I can go around.
But it's like that with a lot of. I mean, we've talked about selling old systems to buy new systems back in the back when we were kids, video game systems, and always regret selling systems.
Yeah, I have too.
I wouldn't have had a Super Nintendo with Super Star Wars if I didn't sell my Nintendo and all the games.
That's an interesting give and take there.
Yeah, sometimes, but like my Genesis, I didn't sell that to get something else.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even remember why I sold it.
Yeah.
Maybe it was to get something else, I don't know, but...
I would, just for nostalgia, I would have loved to have kept my original Super Nintendo that I had that was one controller and just Turtles in Time, but then I wouldn't have had my Sega Genesis because I got it in a trade to a friend, a classmate. So, and that was an Altered Beast Genesis, and what's funny is he gave me Space Harrier 2 with it, and right away, like within a day or so, Daniel was like a huge Space Harrier fan, and he's like, "Oh, dude, can I borrow it? Like, just for like a week or whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, no big deal."
It's funny to be a big fan of that game.
Yeah, I was always I never super cared for Space Harrier. That's why I let him borrow it without any problem, because then he had so many Genesis games, he just probably let me borrow something in return. So I let him borrow it, and then what's funny is he lost it, and like it was just a weird thing where he has no clue what happened to it. It just disappeared, and that was it. And the only thing we could think of is that maybe one of his friends like stole it or something. Like, it was just kind of weird. So I got to play my Space Harrier for one day, and then that was it.
that is weird, because usually what would happen is somebody would borrow the game and then move away or something.
Yes.
And then that's how you lose video games. You usually don't just...
I have gained so many games that way.
You're that guy.
I'm that guy. But the thing is, if I know someone is moving and in advance, I've always given it back at least 90% of the time. I mean, I've never intentionally kept a game, ever. It was always just kind of circumstantial. But in fact, I could have kept Mega Man and Castlevania when my classmate moved, but I returned it to him, and he's like, "Oh, dude, I forgot you had these." So he
that would happen a lot too. Yeah, just forgetting.
Yep.
I lost my copy of Legend of Zelda by that way.
Damn.
Letting a friend borrow it at school, and he moved away. And it sucks, because now that I think about it, that's probably one of the reasons I didn't beat it for so long, is because I lost it, like I didn't have it.
Yep.
I don't really regret selling my Nintendo and games that much.
No, not so much on that. Yeah.
I do regret selling my Altered Beast Genesis.
Yeah, it's a little more rare.
It's rare. I remember my mom got it for me, and it was a floor model at some store or whatever, so it was probably like, super original.
Yeah.
And then I also remember I got a CDX, a Sega CDX.
That's right.
And I sold that, and I don't know why, because at that time that would have been my main Genesis,
right,
and also Sega CD. For some reason, I just sold it. I really don't remember why.
Well, I guess also in the 90s, when we didn't really have the same disposable income we have now, it was kind of like, we're like, oh shit, well, I could get bunch of stuff with this money,
Yeah.
otherwise,
Yeah.
whether it was more games for another thing or even just comics or books or music or whatever.
Yeah, part of it might have just been to build my first PC and stuff too, because at that point
Yeah.
I was transitioning to PC gaming more and get just
Yeah,
console.
I've talked about that a lot, and especially on social media and everything. Whenever GoldenEye comes up in conversation, I'm like, I'm kind of sad I missed out on that game as a multiplayer kind of thing, because I was playing PC games at that point.
Yeah.
It just I didn't fall into the Nintendo 64 slash PlayStation like thing. It just I mean my cousin had a PlayStation, and I think I played Nintendo 64 once or twice back then, but like I don't know. I just
Well,
passed me by.
I think consoles were much better at platformers than
Yeah.
PCs were. And then
Yeah.
when things transitioned more from like 2D platformers and side-scrolling stuff to like 3D games,
Yeah.
then it was like, well, PC does that much better. It did, and it still does,
Yep.
for the most part. And so it was. I think that's part of the reason is when they were in. At that time, man, it was rough. Like those games do not look good. They didn't look good then,
No.
and they don't now. And
That's so true.
doing like first-person shooter with a controller is really tough too.
Yep.
For old folks. that
Yeah. Yeah.
grew up on PC for those type of games, but
Yeah, I finally sampled GoldenEye, just the one-player campaign, just for a few minutes, like probably 7 or 8 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, this looks like an alright game." I'm sure the multiplayer was awesome. I don't know what the fuck to do. I could drop.
look back at the thing, the going up and down. There you go.
I mean, I
think
could
you're-
probably. Yeah, that's probably gonna be the way I end up going. I guess that just keeps dropping, and then I get on. No, don't get on top.
But there's a lot of Star Wars games that we missed out on not having
Shit.
the post 16-bit. No, you're fine as long as you're alive. Don't get
Yeah.
squished though. Not going past the 16-bit era of consoles.
Yep.
There was the GameCube games, like I think Rogue Squadron 2.
Yeah,
right?
Rogue Leader, which looks awesome. Still to this day looks really good.
And I love the first one.
Yes.
I was like, well, I don't have a GameCube, so I'm not gonna. I guess I'm
Yeah.
not gonna play that game. It was really shitty to watch all these games come out on consoles.
I know.
There's what was it, that Bounty Hunter game? with
Bounty
Django?
Hunter. Yep. Which I picked up a used copy a few years ago because I have a PS2 here. It's just not been hooked up recently, but I still gotta play it. But I have it for when I need it. And that was a game I remember really being excited for back when it came out. Like, oh, cool! They're gonna delve into Django's background in a game, and because it starts like basically when he meets Dooku and gets recruited, and I think it shows how he gets Slave One.
I was recruited by a man named Tyrannus.
One of the moons of Bogdan.
Yeah, I don't remember which one. It's so weird, like, I don't know, that line and just like the whole thing. You're just like, what? What is going on here?
I know, there's so much mystery and
a lot of red herrings and stuff, like the whole Sifo-Dyas thing.
you know what? And that's why I love Attack of the Clones so much. Everyone's always like, "Oh, the love scenes and this and that." I don't give a fuck about that shit. The mystery of Obi-Wan on his journey to Kamino and all, and it's not just that, it's the music while he goes to Kamino, and it's like,
Yes.
it's just all that stuff is so good.
Yeah. I saw on Reddit, somebody had mentioned, I don't remember the post, it was what the post was, and in the comments they were, shitting on the love story and the dialogue and all that stuff. And somebody had mentioned that they had heard about the IMAX cut and how much better it was. And it was funny because we've talked about that before. And
And it
always
doesn't
comes
get
up.
mentioned often by other people, though. It's just us.
No, I think because I think the amount of people that saw it are few and far between, or even can remember
They're
that there
dead.
was
They've all been taken out. They're dead.
or next.
Yeah.
Lucas taking them out.
Yep.
It was not my original intention.
No, I know.
My...
It is fascinating. Oh, shit.
That's fascinating, too.
That's fascinating.
Lucky dog, get out of there.
I thought I wasn't going to survive that, but it's not like Doom. I guess it doesn't kill you if you got the right shields. But, no, it is super fascinating because that's like one of those things on the internet that the internet has just made it impossible to find information on. And that's why it's all about holding on to whatever original conversations or files or pictures or whatever we have that can let us piece it together, you know?
Yeah, I wish that there was some way to see it again, or even to like see a script version of the movie or something. You know, there's some documentation of the IMAX cut.
Right.
It's not even like specified a lot or at all in any sort of, you know, Wikipedia.
Right. What's funny is I can still see in my mind's eye the transitions. Like I can just remember how they looked, how it was like it would cut straight from like basically like anything that was extraneous, like Jar Jar talking to Padme in the apartment, just totally cut. And then next thing you know, they're sitting down on the couch talking about, you know, we will find out who killed you, or is trying to kill you, Padme. I promise, you know. And then basically any extended love scene dialogue, like the fireplace, stuff like that. Okay, that was the one I failed. I know.
Yeah, I don't think you can make. Can you make
those other ones? I think you can, according to the strategy guide, but I'm not gonna.
Well, maybe from higher up or something.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah, it really is the love scene though that's the biggest change and improvement.
Yep.
I think they like cut down a little bit on the like courtship scenes.
Yeah.
They're like rolling around in the fields of Naboo.
Yeah.
Stuff.
I got a Dark Trooper coming up.
Yes. They didn't remove them completely. Like they're still there. They just weren't so much. And it's kind of the same thing with the fireside scene. The fireside scene was still there. It just was not so much, not so melodramatic and stuff. And just one charge? Oh yeah.
Alright, come here, asshole.
Yo. Fuck you, asshole.
Indeed. And he's not hard.
Yeah.
As long as I keep running away. Where the fuck did he go? That's scary when he like disappears.
Alright.
Actually, he's a little faster than I remember.
I really wanted a scene in Mando with him just walking backwards, chucking grenades.
Yeah.
Troopers.
I could breathe easy. Shit, there's a turret above me.
I think we had mentioned it in a podcast episode, or maybe in a earlier level of this, that YouTuber that delved into the style choices that Lucas made with the prequels and how it's
Yeah. It was about a week ago or so. You had, and actually, I had that on a tab, and then I had to just close it because I had too many tabs open. But I'm gonna
Oh
actually,
yeah, that's right. I
because
was
it's a
you made a
long
tab.
video. It's a
It
long.
is,
So I'm like, I
but
need
it's good.
to.
He actually will show the scenes from these old movies that Lucas was like paying homage to and stuff, like
Yes.
listing. And it goes with everything. It's the dialogue and everything. It's just like a movie out of time, kind of.
Yep.
It's like if somebody went and wrote a sequel to, like, you know, Frankenstein or Dracula, but
Yeah.
like totally just emulated the writing style of Stoker or Mary Shelley, and that writing style for that time period.
Mm-hmm.
It would be, you know, it would be cumbersome.
Yeah, that's totally it. And Star Wars still, especially the prequels, it really does remind me of the 30s and 40s. I mean, it's just even the love scenes and stuff, they're just it's not like any other movie from the 2000s at all.
Yeah, it's true.
It's like the old Flash Gordon stuff, even the old Robin Hood movies from the 30s, very much like that. I have no idea where I'm going, but this is probably the right way.
And you know, one of the things they got going for them, the prequels, is they're as rewatchable as the original trilogy, which can't be said for all of the Disney era.
Yeah. I kind of remember this. I gotta shoot these guys here. That's right, and that goes up. Somehow I get it. Oh yeah, that's right. There's this thing. Open the blast doors.
Close the blast doors. Close the blast doors.
Actually, I think I need to run through twice or something. I think, let's see. Get this. Okay, that's not opening. What's the puzzle here? Okay. It's something. I don't remember the. Oh,
you have to go the other way, right? You're coming from that way. Go the other way.
No. But I wonder if there's another switch. Like that one obviously opens the second door. Okay, that one just automatically goes up.
Yeah, so
maybe I'll wait till that goes up and then I'll hit this. Maybe that brings them both down or something. That's my guess. Let's see. No, oh wait, the other one is. Okay, something going on there. Oh yeah, there we go. Maybe I got an Indiana Jones it here. Grab my hat and the whip.
You gotta grab your hat, yeah.
See, I love how Lucasfilm just keeps the same themes for all their. We got the same trap doors, the whole deal.
Old Molaram. I love that. How is that supposed to be a power-up? It just makes you, like, or does it, each shot?
Maybe each shot is more. Because see how the numbers...
Yeah, it's not going down as fast, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're invincible too, right?
I'm not sure.
Take a shot.
No, my shield was going down. Oh well. I'm more or less invincible.
It's like, it reminds me of in A New Hope when they're in the detention center and they're just like Chewie and Han and stuff are shooting all of the cameras
Yeah.
and the emplacement, the gun emplacements and stuff.
Right.
But the way it's edited just looks like really weird. Like
Erratic.
Chewie's just like, yeah, it's like really manic and erratic, and Chewie's just like, you know, nodding his head like it doesn't look like he's shooting at anything because he's just kind of holding the
Right.
his blaster up.
Right. I like also how you see him shoot the cameras, but then there's also those little laser emplacements on the wall, but it's not clear that that's what those are. But then when you play Super Star Wars, those little things are exactly that. And then when you watch the scene again, those little things make sense, and it's like, oh, but it's just
Decipher.
Yeah.
The Decipher CCG did that too. Like that.
Yes. Yes.
The cards for those guns and cameras.
That's right. That's right.
So there's so much lore that came out of that
Dude,
card game.
No kidding. Because actually, obviously, like, we've talked about it a little bit. Like, I didn't play it a whole lot. I tried to. I had the starter pack that had like 50 cards or whatever. All right, there's Jan. I'm just gonna exit out, even though I know there's more items and shit. But it was just cool. I just loved it for the lore, purely.
Yeah.
All right, next mission. Yes, obviously. The Arc Hammer.
What a great ship.
This contemptible excuse for an officer will no longer divulge any more information to that rebel, Kyle Katarn.
Katarn will not be as easy to deal with. He is very resourceful. More resourceful, it seems, than even your dark troopers.
I understand the threat, Lord Vader. Katarn was once an impressive Imperial officer, but he was weak and gave up on the struggle for our new order. I wouldn't put much faith in his abilities. Katarn will never come near this ship. My new hire will see to that.
Always a pleasure to meet a Jedi.
What?